Hi, I'm Coach Amber, and welcome to the Meet RX Success Story podcast. Today we have one of our own, Coach Jill. Welcome, Jill.
Hi, thank you for having me, Amber. I'm really excited about this conversation.
Absolutely. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. Okay, let's get started. Our
hmm
first question is going to be, what was your life, your health like prior to starting a meat-based diet?
That's a great question. I was not in the throes of any major health issues, but I had a lot of lingering health issues. I have half a thyroid. I had a half my thyroid taken out about 22 years ago after the birth of my fourth child. And ever since then, I have been chasing thyroid labs and trying to optimize how well my thyroid can work or isn't working. And it's been a lot of trial and error with different medications, different ways of eating, different ways of managing my stress. Other things are before I had, after I had my fifth baby, my ovaries stopped working. Probably a message not to have any more kids, right? But after that, I was put on synthetic testosterone, and that really affected the way I felt physically, emotionally. It affected my mood, really was not an optimal way of living. And I slowly had to get off the synthetic testosterone and figure out a way to increase my testosterone, because most women don't know, but we do have testosterone. We just aren't testosterone dominant. We're estrogen dominant. So without the testosterone, my zest for life was very low. And that leads to feelings of being depressed and anxious and just not feeling good about yourself. So those were two of my main health issues I had before going carnivore.
Well, thank you for that. Okay, so the second question, let's get into how you implemented the diet. Like, what did you eat? What did you not eat? And did you have any transitional issues?
I did. So when I first started the carnivore diet, I was coming from a keto diet for 3 years. And prior to that, I was paleo. So I've just slowly been leveling up on my nutrition. And I always ate animal-based products anyway, so it wasn't hard for me to incorporate even more and to lessen the load on plant-based foods. So it was during COVID when I decided to try carnivore, like the beginning phases of COVID when we were really on lockdown, and I took a 30-day carnivore challenge course online. And I thought, all right, I'm just going to try this for 30 days. We have nothing else to do in our lives right now. Why not focus on something different to see if it works? Because I've heard about it. So I started implementing the carnivore diet by eating more red meat. And I discovered that I absolutely love ribeyes. I am a ribeye girl. So a lot of people have a hard time eating higher fat protein, but that was what my body, there was a trigger that went off in me when I started eating higher fat pieces of animal protein. And so that just locked me in. I felt so good immediately. I mean, within 3 days, I felt like I have never felt before. Things like my energy level, my mood was more stable throughout the day, and I felt happier. My brain fog that I suffered with for so many years was lifted a little bit at a time. And within 2 weeks, I didn't have any brain fog anymore. So I implemented just more higher fat animal-based products, eggs, including all the egg yolks, fattier cuts of beef, liver was something. I'm Jewish, and so I grew up on chopped liver, right? We always had that. But to then take out all the different ingredients in chopped liver and to just eat the liver was very new for me. So that actually was really fun, trying to incorporate that in different meals, in different ways. And I absolutely love it. And I do owe, I think, a lot of my health issues being leveled up and healing from incorporating organ meats. And that was hard at first, but got much easier. And you just learn how to make it delicious. And then also, one of the things I really needed to incorporate more was sea salt, mineral salt. And something that I use, but sparingly. And on the carnivore diet, I was taught to use it liberally, and I did. And I just started noticing how much better I felt. I did experience diarrhea, and that was really difficult for me. So I guess being on lockdown during COVID was a good thing because I needed to stay home. So the woman who was teaching the course online suggested that I take lipase and increase my electrolytes, and that immediately took it away within a day or two. So I don't need to do that anymore, but I did keep that pretty stable in my routine with eating meals for at least a month.
Very good. Okay, so let's get to the really good part. You talked about some things some issues you were having. How has that improved? What has changed? And was there anything that just kind of surprised you that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, the one thing that really surprised me was my body composition. I am a middle-aged female, and I was always in good shape and athletic, but within a year of being on carnivore, because it's been almost 2 years now, that process of losing body fat and increasing my lean muscle mass was just a happy bonus for me. I lost 6% body fat, and I'm not coming from a place of being too overweight, but as long as I'm going to be doing this and feeling great, I also want to look great. And that was a huge benefit. I always start with healing the inside, and then your outside is going to be gifted to you the way it should be. And that's exactly what unfolded for me. And that was a huge surprise. Other things that I experienced was my hair growth was great. And I had struggled during perimenopause and having all my 5 of my kids with hair shedding and hair thinning. And eating on a carnivore-based diet increased my hair growth. My nails are stronger. My skin looks great. I never had horrible skin, but it looks even better now. I have more of a glow, and it's I can see that the collagen has increased in my derma and giving me that elasticity. And, you know, as a middle-aged woman, as you age, you start to lose these things. So all of this was great timing for me in terms of the phase I was in as a woman. Other things would be my labs looked more optimal, and my energy was increased. My libido was increased, which is also a great surprise. Who wouldn't want more of that? One thing I do want to say, though, is going on the carnivore diet and having all these great things benefit me personally, I still had to stay on certain supplements. I do have something called the MTHFR genetic mutation. It's a SNP, and basically it inhibits the way your body methylizes and detoxifies. So there's, no matter what diet I'm going to be on, I'm still going to possibly need the support of other supplements to just help me move along in a healthy life. So I'm not just carnivore without supporting it through supplements. And the supplements I take are based on my blood work and the relationship I have with my functional medicine doctor. And I think that's really important to note, because I think some people think that they're going to go on a diet and everything's just going to fall into place, but it might and it might not. And so that's my my experience.
I love that you brought that up. I think that is incredibly important. Carnivore is so powerful, but sometimes it may not be quite enough for whatever issues you're having. So I love that you said that. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, so now since you are a MeatRx member, can you tell us what you feel has been a benefit for you by being a member?
Yeah, well, even before I became a member and I just looked on the website out of curiosity, I found so much information there that was helpful. Now, being a certified carnivore coach through MeatRx and a community member, I find so many benefits to it. For me, I have my own podcast. I'm a certified functional medicine health coach and a certified integrative nutrition health coach as well. And I have my own podcast. And so there's a section on the community board for doctors who support a carnivore or animal-based nutrition approach. And that's been great because I've contacted many of them and they're now going to be guests on my own podcast. So that's been really nice. I love the recipes because, you know, as much as I love ribeyes, sometimes you just need to rotate in other types of animal meats for other sources of nutrition. The references and the MeatRx podcast I listen to on my fresh air walks every day. And I just love that there's a sense of community there. And I feel like with my own coaching practice, if I ran into an issue or something that I didn't have the answer to, I know that I can go back to MeatRx and find another coach who may have had a different experience and success and ask for help. So I really like that too.
You summed that up so well, and I could not agree with you more. That was
Yeah.
great. Okay. Jill, now this is the time for you to shine. I have one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Since you are a coach,
Mm-hmm.
can you tell everyone, what do you bring to the table? What is your coaching style? Why should somebody come to
Mm-hmm.
you?
Well, I'm trained in a client-centered approach, meaning that I am the tour guide, but my client is always going to be in charge, always the leader, always letting me know when they're ready to make a change and when they're not ready to make a change. And I am skilled, I have the skill set to listen to these cues and collaborate with my client and create a plan that's going to help them reach their goal in whatever pace they want it to be in, what other steps, what steps they want to take and they're ready to take. Because if a coach forces their client to make a move in one direction or the other, there's going to be natural resistance. So it really has to be about a client-centered approach in my book.
I love that. Okay, y'all. So if you're looking for a carnivore coach, go check out Coach Jill. And Jill, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank you, Amber. This is lovely, and I'm so excited to help people move along their carnivore journey.
I love it. Thanks again, Jill, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.